The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of ACUMA, its board of directors, its management staff, or its members. The podcast discussion presented is conversational in nature and for general information only.
Hello and welcome to ACUMA's On Point Podcast, a series focused on sharing the stories of people who are making a positive impact in the credit union mortgage industry. I'm your host, Peter Benjamin. Today, my guest is Patty Mason, Vice President of Real Estate Lending with American Eagle Financial Credit Union. Patty, how are you doing today?
I am having a spectacular day this morning, Peter Benjamin. How about yourself?
I am absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for asking. Looking forward to today's conversation. It's going to be an interesting one, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll kind of get to that point where I kind of expand on why it's going to be so interesting, but looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of yours. Excited that you're here. But before we get too much further, I got to bring Justin in. Justin, what's the latest and greatest happening over at ACUMA?
What's going on, Peter?
What's going on, man? How you doing, by the way?
I'm good. How are you?
Living it. Just living that dream.
Somebody's dream, I hope. Hopefully it's yours.
Don't wake me, man. Don't wake me.
So yeah, we are just coming back. I mean, it's been 2 weeks, but it feels like it was yesterday. We're just coming back from our Viewpoint Regional Summit that was in Phoenix. That was amazing. Peter, what do you think?
No, I said it last year when we got back from the first ones we've ever put on. I'll say it again this year. Those events are really going to hold a special place in my heart. Just the roundtable discussions, the collaboration is what credit unions do best.
By far, one of my favorite parts is just hearing all the credit union members come together, open up, and really just share, learn, and grow from each other.
Right. I mean, I've said this in the past. I came before joining a credit union. I was part of a community bank. That just didn't happen in that space. Right. So being part of ACUMA as a member and being an active participant in those roundtable discussions, that collaboration was fantastic. Watching it as the president of ACUMA and seeing these credit unions, our credit union members really care. I guess to jokingly say, sharing is caring, right? But to care enough about their neighbors, their partners, the other credit unions in that room to share everything that they do and help them be successful. It's really inspiring. Love it. Anyways,
exactly.
Keep going.
Yeah. So then we're heading in May. We're going to Nashville, or to the locals, Nash Vegas.
Vegas. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm from. So
we're going some honky tonks.
We're gonna go to a honky tonk, and we'll get our Justin boots and dress like the locals.
We should get hats. We should all get hats.
We should get hats, and you guys can wear them, and I will not.
Come on, man. Come on.
I grew up that lifestyle. In June, we're going to Denver.
I grew up with that lifestyle. I love
it. I dressed as a cowboy in high school once.
Once. All right.
Yeah, once. In June, we're going to Denver for our next Focal Point workshop. Peter, are you looking forward to one of those more than the other?
That's like picking my favorite twin. It's like it's Riley. It's Riley. Everyone knows it's Riley, but I mean, I love Denver. Love Denver. Nashville has most certainly grown on me. I really enjoy going to Nashville. Great food, great environment. I love the energy of the city. So it's tough. I'm looking forward to both.
All right. Registration's open now for both workshops. So there's time for people just to go sign up, pick your favorite city, and come out and see us. We look forward to it. The agenda's already posted to the website. So big lineup ahead of us. And then coming up in September and October, we have our annual conference in Vegas. That agenda is going to be amazing. We have so many great sessions. I know I'm looking forward to it. Vegas was my first ACUMA event 2 years ago, so it's going to be exciting to see it just kind of come full circle again, going back to Vegas and seeing how much it's grown and developed in that time. And then I was honestly thinking about pulling in my Travis Kelce Super Bowl vibes and start screaming Vegas, but I didn't think everybody would like that. Especially some of our listeners, and one in particular. So in addition to all that, we have our Fast Track and Inside Track webinars happening year round. There really is something for everyone. So much fun, so much education for all our members just to take in.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for the update. All right, Patty. So let's kind of break down a few things. First, let's kind of get to know you a bit. Walk us through Patty Mason. everything that your passions for this industry. Kind of, let's start off with that. Tell us a little bit more about Patty.
So about Patty Mason, I got involved in the mortgage space right while I was in college. I started at a large regional bank scheduling home equity closings, and realized that's something I really enjoyed. You're helping people. Mm-hmm. And that just sort of resonated. It sounds super cliche, but that's what gives me joy. I worked for, like you, a regional bank, and then came over to the credit union space 8 years ago. And it is just a joy to get up every day and serve our membership. And I think that's what really resonates for me in doing this. It's giving back. It's educating. It's doing all of the things that credit unions are supposed to do for our membership. And it's about mission. And I think we're really focusing as an organization about mission and educating our community. And that's really what brings me joy in doing this.
No, I love that. And I didn't realize that you transitioned to a credit union 8 years ago. And that's roughly around the same time that I transitioned to a credit union. And I remember the first time I met you, it was at a credit union networking event, very similar to our roundtables, our regional summits. I was blown away about your passion for the industry, your members. And even though I was blown away back then by your passion for the industry and your members, I'm even more blown away by just realizing at that point in time, when I first met you, we'll say that was you were probably only a year into your current position with a credit union. And so I think that's even more special or more important to point out that even after a year and you talk about mission and membership and community and educating them, you kind of jumped in, head first and really said, hey, I'm all credit union now. And I think I love that. I absolutely love that so much. I think you're a good example of someone who walks and talks the credit union movement. So I think that's the reason. Actually, that is the reason why we have you on today's podcast. Now, let's start transitioning to today's topic. And today's topic is, and I said it was going to be interesting. And the reason why it's going to be interesting because this year is not like last, and it's not like the year before, or it's not like at that point in time, it's not like 2020 or 2021, right? Here we are at the end of March, really on the doorsteps of the spring market. Now, I know I've heard you talk about it. I know that you do some things that are kind of sort of out of the box and different for what credit unions normally do to really be successful in the spring market. But let's really break that down. What are some techniques that you do or what we can do as an industry to really tackle the spring market at full speed? Like, what can we really do? I defer to you and your expertise.
So what we started to do at the beginning of the year is our foundational work, which I like to say that education piece. And it starts with credit, right? Making sure members understand how valuable credit and budgeting is to the home ownership process. So it is an evolution, right? When you are working with a member, you're going to start at the infancy stages of really imparting information. And we are looking at, TikToks, trying to get to people where they want to be heard, which is
TikToks.
I know, right? I know. It's been an interesting evolution for my my loan officers, really.
You were probably, and this is not an exaggeration. We've talked about, being more involved in TikTok and even on the Instagram reels. And we've talked about that at a lot of our events. I think you were actually the first person that we've talked to that actually said that they're using TikToks.
It's critical. It's critical because that's how you're going to retain some of the younger folks to listen to you, right? That's where they get their education. I'm not of that generation. I'm going to do a little more research, but really we want to be that trusted source, right? That's what we are there for. And so I always go with educate them where they want to be educated and bring it to, and so, 30-second clips of information and you kind of build on it, so you start with one piece and maybe a half hour later, you've given them all the tools they need and quick snippets of information.
That's awesome. Educate them where they want to be educated. Go, Justin.
How did you, I understand the whole idea of educating where you want to be educated, but how did you guys kind of approach the idea that TikTok even though that's where the Gen Z consumers are. That's where the Gen Y consumers are, right? But your members are there. How did
Even
you
the
get
very young millennials, you can put them in there too.
Those are Gen Ys, but yeah, millennials.
Well, let's use normal term for us old folks who don't know that Gen Y is millennials.
Well, I mean,
the young people.
Definitely,
exactly.
You'll be seeing the Gen Alphas in there eventually. But how did you guys come to that?
That's so presumptuous, by the way. Gen Alphas. Sorry.
No, they'll be there. But how did you guys get to that? How did you approach that TikTok was the strategy that you guys needed to utilize?
I think it's been an evolution, and it was really something we went to. I saw Tony Thompson, who is the president of NAMBA, and he really kind of talked about different strategies and the 4 different categories of underserved markets. And that was one of the pieces that resonated in his presentation was, TikToks and where folks get their information and education. And so it was for me, mission critical that as we're really looking at serving a broader community within our credit union space, that this was a groundbreaking opportunity for us to be relevant.
Very cool.
That is cool.
And marketing was all on board.
Oh, I bet they were.
It's free, right? It's free.
Free-ish.
There's not a lot of heavy lifting that goes into that.
Well, I mean, but still, I think that's interesting because just coming from a credit union, if I was back then, not like it was all that long ago, but we're talking. Actually, I just celebrated my 2 years with ACUMA 2 weeks ago or something like that. But even
Happy
thinking
anniversary.
about, thank you. Thinking about me going into my marketing department or even my CEO, right, and saying, "Hey, I want to do TikToks."
One of them would have said yes, and one of them would have been like, over the moon. When do we get started?
It depends. Towards the end of my time there, towards the end of the 5 years I was there was a younger person head of marketing. He probably would have said yes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Towards the start of my time at that organization, there was an older person head of marketing. They probably would have laughed me out of the door saying, "You're ridiculous, get out of here." And then the over compliance of everything, right? And they would have dissected to the point where it wasn't going to be fun. We weren't going to be able to leverage it to our benefit, like I'm sure you are, right? I am pretty sure other credit unions are running to that same exact thing. You kind of get to that roadblock of marketing. Yeah, they may be into it. They probably want to control it a bit. But then the compliance aspect of it, how do you overcome that obstacle, right? Making sure that your loan officers aren't saying something that they shouldn't.
Well, and that is important. So that's why we do control that narrative. They're not out making these TikToks on their own. We do work with marketing because obviously we want the best lighting for them. They care about the aesthetics of what they look like. Their kids are going to see it. So it was a collaboration. It was definitely a collaboration with our marketing team and our sales team. But they, in the spirit of fun and excitement, jumped on board with both feet in. So been.
If you don't mind me asking, when you look at your staff, right? And you look at, we'll say the different types of loan officers you have. I'm guessing you have younger loan officers who were all gung ho about this, and you have some older ones saying, "I'm not going to do that."
Well, so it was really interesting. Our outside mortgage loan officers are a little bit older, but they were on board with it because they want to resonate with a different market and understanding that we have to morph and change and grow. And so they wanted to stay relevant. And so giving these tools to their referral sources, right? Here's some information about a referral source or a business partner that might help you with marketing to a different genre for a real estate agent or for an attorney. So it really was sort of a collaboration of such. And as we do first-time homebuyer seminars, we are going to start embedding some of our TikToks in our presentations as well.
That's awesome. That I think it shows the efforts that you have put in, as the head of real estate lending to really gain everyone's buy-in, right? They've bought in to what you're trying to do, to the organization, to the mission and vision, and that really starts with you. So absolutely amazing. So kind of keep moving forward. So it starts with education, right? what else are you doing? What other techniques are you using to really kind of get into this spring market, which I guess you could argue starts in a week or two, right?
Exactly.
What else are you guys doing? So education, what else?
Business development. I think it's really important. It is a unique market. It's not the same as it was last year. There's a lot more ambiguity about what's going to happen this year. So we still need to lay the foundational work, which is still going out and meeting with your business partners and asking what they need from you. Where do you want the assistance to help propel yourself in the market? Inventory might still be down. So it's about keeping yourself in front of the clients at all times. So I think that business development piece, and I would say not whining and dining, but value add. What's your value proposition going into the spring market? And morphing that into what it's going to look like this year. So again, education is key. We've already had a couple of seminars already, and our first-time homebuyer seminar will be at the end of this month of March, really kind of on the precipice of, we'll just have come into spring and really giving folks the tools and information to to jump off. We have 2 of them set in a week's time to really meet them. We're doing a church one in one of our communities and here in our building in East Hartford. So we have 2 giant first-time homebuyer seminars that we're really excited to work on. But we started with educating on credit and budgeting. And I think that's the piece. You start with that piece and then bring them to the next steps. And we always partner with our attorneys and realtors when we do our first-time homebuyer seminars to really bring that full team in. And sometimes we'll even have an insurance agent in there to really give the potential homeowners all of the tools that they need to have a successful spring market.
Right, but that's key, right? We've talked about it at our events and at several events that I've attended, where you've been at. That financial literacy is part of it, right? Budgeting, credit, but also every component to the mortgage transaction is part of that financial literacy. This is really what this is these are the steps that you have to take in order to obtain a mortgage. But 2, this is what you have to do in order to maintain or sustain your ability to repay that mortgage, right? All key components to the success of your members, the buyers, depending on how you want to look at it, any family that you put into a home, all important components. That's fantastic. All right. So you continue on. So it seems as though you start off with that education, right? The TikToks, the home buying seminars, and you really actually, you can easily argue that you double down with the home buying seminars on that education piece. Now, kind of going back to business development and kind of beating the streets and kind of presenting your value add, is the argument one of those, is the argument more so, hey, I don't want all your business. If you send me all your business, fantastic. I just want to be in the rotation, and I offer you something that others won't.
I think it's a little bit of everything, right? Because you're not going to be everything to everyone.
You can't be. You can't be.
And it's a commodity, right? We have to go in and offer, and we have some very loyal business partners. So those aren't the ones I want my originators to really focus on, because we're going to get their business. It's the folks that really don't know us well. And that's going back to basics. I think that word is going to be a big word in 2024, going back to basics. And what does business development look like? You haven't had to do it for a long time. Loans were just coming at you left and right over the last few years. So that back to basic mentality. And sometimes originators just get in their groove and they're like, oh, the phone will just ring instead of, going back out and knocking on that door for that new referral source and, kind of making sure they fine tune what their value proposition is for what they can do for members and potential members.
I love it when a plan comes together. I really do. When we open up the agenda for our annual conference this year, what you said, going back to basics, I think you're going to be happy with the agenda that we have set for our annual conference. It's really focused on that. fundamental blocking and tackling basics of mortgage. You are not the first person to bring that up, to me or to anyone else within ACUMA. That's exactly what we need to be successful. Yeah, we may see some refis, towards the end of this year, or maybe even 25, right? We may see some refinances, but we've gotten away from purchase business and growing our business. And that's the fundamentals of business development. That has to be the focus. And how do we do it? Because we're now rusty on it, right? What at this point in time, you think about it, depending 2-3 years, or since we've really had to truly go out there and grow our business through purchases. I love that, Patty. Love it. All right. So what else are you doing to kind of, we'll say, start this spring market the right way?
Well, and I also educating our members, but also educating the staff, right?
Yep.
Let's hone in on our skills. What do we want to do better in 2024? We're members of the Mortgage Bankers Association. We have a whole litany of educational pieces. The MI companies offer, different training mechanisms. I do have a couple of newer originators. What tools can they have to be successful as our inside MLOs? Our home equities are still, top of mind. So how do we educate membership on, is a home equity the right thing for you at this time to tap into the equity in your home, or is it a different product? So really that consultative approach that credit unions do and offer our membership, and making sure that each person on our staff, whether it's a processor or a closer, can still offer that advantage to our members. We're also getting folks credit certified, to be credit counselors within
That's
our
great.
world.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did mine 2 summers ago, and we've opened it up to all credit union staff. So the CUNA Financial Counseling Certification Program is offered to everyone within our organization now, and we've had a lot of folks jump in. Our collections team is all certified credit counselors to really kind of help our membership. We've rebranded them payment processing instead of collections to really kind of soften what they're there for. So it really is just a reapproach for a very exciting new year.
That's fantastic. It's education's key, right? And especially when times are tough, education tends to be the first thing that goes, always, right? It can be education and travel, depending on how you view it, but I kind of view them one and the same, right? And so I think that's great that you guys are kind of sticking with that idea of education, because with us, ACUMA, we're not a advocacy based or focus association. We're education focused credit union or association, and we've done our best to continue that education for all members within a mortgage division. It's why we started the YPN network that Cameron does quarterly, right? We want to educate the younger professionals within our institutions of what it takes to be successful in this market, the next market, or just survive and be successful loan officers. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. Now, looking at the time, we need to start transitioning to the second segment. So before we do, I always like asking, for final words on the conversation. So any final thoughts on some easy, simple techniques that someone can use to really start hitting the spring market? Any final thoughts?
I think being flexible and being nimble and being able to pivot on a dime, because it is going to be such an interesting year. And so resiliency, I think, is something that we're going to need for 2024, is just being resilient and keeping that positive attitude, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. It might be a little longer, it might be shorter, but there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. I mean, what Churchill said, if you're going through hell, just keep going, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just keep moving forward, right? Just keep on swimming. That's from Dory or some or
that's from Dory. Yeah.
Finding Nemo or something like that. Just keep swimming. All right. So last question before we actually transition. And again, the On Point podcast is focused on you, the person, which is why I started off with, hey, tell us a little bit more about you. The last question is, what motivates you? What keeps you going day in, day out to keep pushing forward? Now, you already said it kind of sort of in the first question. Tell us a little bit about Patty, but what is that thing that keeps you going every day?
Well, I am a single parent. I have two lovely children. I have a daughter who will be 19 in July and a son who just turned 17. So they are my motivation, right? I want to set the right example for them on how to really be the best person you can be day in and day out, which is being selfless sometimes. And I think this credit union world, my kids can see, we have a great leadership here. They've been able to come to events. So I think the partnership between work-life balance has been amazing. And this credit union, American Eagle, has given me that opportunity.
Love that. Absolutely love it. And I obviously, this is all audio, so people can't see it, but the smile on your face as you were describing, that motivation, I felt it. I really did. So thank you very much for sharing that. Well, Patty, it's time to transition to the second segment of our podcast. Now, in this segment, I know, right? I'm excited too. In this second segment, this is where we do, fun facts. Sometimes we play trivia, or do trivia, dad jokes. But today we're going to play Jeopardy. Now here we are towards the end of March. St. Patrick's Day was really just a few days ago. So what we're going to do, we're going to play a little St. Patrick's Day trivia. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my Jeopardy screen, and I'm going to describe to everyone because obviously they can't see it. Now, as I bring this into my screen and I start sharing my screen, this is going to be set up very similar to a normal Jeopardy screen where you have 5 categories ranging anywhere from points of 100 to 500. For the sake of this game, Patty, you're team 1. Justin is team 2. Now, you do not have to say what is, who is, or anything like that. Okay. But let's just have fun. Again, points ranging anywhere from 100 to 500. Now, the categories are green foods, green things, St. Patrick's Day, Irish math, and Irish symbols. Okay. Now, I can see the look on Justin's face. And by the way, I have to remind everyone that's listening. Justin has the lowest score officially, and all
the reverse champion
in all of ACUMA's On Point podcast. And by the way, although Cameron's not on here as co-host, never play Celebrity Jeopardy with Cameron. She will beat you every single time. She's a whiz. She just knows stuff about celebrities. So we, on one hand, we have Justin, and Justin's fantastic, but he's not very good at Jeopardy. On the other, you put any celebrity questions in front of Cameron, 9 out of 10 times she's going to get it right. It's amazing. Anyways, let's get started. All right. So, Patty, you are our guest. So you get to go first. Now, can I give you a hint, please?
Yes, please.
I have no idea what these questions are. No idea. But everyone always starts with 500, thinking, I'm going to go big to really run up the points. The Jeopardy Labs is the website that I always use. Their 500s are really tough. So that would be my recommendation. Or that's
sometimes their 100s are really tough too.
All right. So Patty, tell me.
I'm going to go with green foods for 100, Peter.
Green foods for 100. I am a small fruit that grows on a vine.
All right. How do I plug it? How do I go? Yes, I'll do it.
Oh, it's yours.
No, it's yours. Yours.
Oh, is it a kiwi?
What is a kiwi? The correct answer is, what is a green grape? I mean,
Justin, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for your bottom score.
If you would have got that, I was honestly surprised because I didn't know a kiwi grew on a vine.
I didn't either. But it's got seeds, right? It seeds.
Does. That's why I was like, does a kiwi grow on a vine?
I know. I had no idea.
I didn't know either. So
that was the only green thing I could think of.
I was actually thinking an olive, but I didn't. Then I started second guessing myself. Is an olive a fruit?
Fruit.
It has a seed. It has a seed. Or is it a pit?
I don't know.
Pit. All right. So Patty, I'm sorry. I have to deduct points. You do. All right. Justin.
We're going to go with Irish math for 200.
Irish math, 200.
Right.
I'm sorry. All right. Connor was counting his gold. He put it into piles of 5 and began counting 5, 10, 15. What are the next 3 numbers he would say?
It's not a trick question, I hope, because it should be 20, 25, 30.
All right. Is that your final answer? 20, 25, 30.
The next three numbers. Yeah, 20, 25, 30.
Okay, the correct answer is 20, 25, 30. Yay,
right.
Justin.
Not sure. I was a little confused there for a minute. My son's in middle school, and I have an elementary school kid who's doing times tables, so I should know those.
Well, but it's also is
Year
this a trick question?
That's what I was concerned with. I was like, I've gotten those wrong before.
Like, is it going to start doubling? Like, 10, 30, whatever, right?
All right. All right.
Patty, back to you. No,
I think that's what Justin goes, right?
Oh no, it's your turn.
We take turns.
Every other.
We take turns.
All right, we're gonna do green things for 100, Peter.
Green things 100. True or false? Is this the first true or false question we've seen? I think it is. True or false? There is green on the Canadian flag.
I'm really hoping that this is the right answer, but I'm gonna say false.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you are correct. But the correct answer is false. All right, Patty. Woo, woo.
It's like I was hoping there was no little something on there. I think there's a maple leaf. I'm gonna stop.
There is a maple leaf. Good job. There's a maple leaf. All right on. All right, Justin.
We're gonna go with St. Patrick's Day 400.
Ooh, you sure about this?
Yes, I'm positive.
Okay. St. Patrick's Day for 400. Leprechauns are very close to this type of creature.
Multiple choice.
Either 1, fairies, 2, dwarves, 3, unicorns, or 4, dragons.
Dwarves.
I'm actually shocked this is a 400.
Me too. It's multiple choice.
Okay. The correct answer is fairies.
That's what I was worried. I was like, it's of them. Is it the ears that are giving it fairy-like qualities?
I have no idea.
So my math question was not a trick question, but this one, maybe I don't know what a dwarf is.
All right, sorry, Justin. I have to deduct points. All right, so at the end of 2 rounds, I have Patty with 0 and Justin with negative 200. All right, Patty.
Justin, that one wasn't fair. Wasn't fair. I'm sorry.
No,
Justin.
totally fair. This is completely unbiased.
This is my Jeopardy reign coming to light again.
That's right. That's what you get. You're like, you got a little cocky.
I did. I was so excited. It was multiple choice. I knew I was going to get that one.
I know, but you also went 400. So don't. Sorry. All right. So, anyways, Patty, final round.
I'm going to do green things for 200, please.
Green things 200. This Canadian bill or money is green. So I guess it's asking for what Canadian bill is green?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I have no idea
what's with the Canadian question.
I know. What Canadian bill is green? I'm embarrassed to say I have no idea. I'm gonna say the dollar bill.
The dollar, okay. All right, Justin. So the final answer is dollar, but Justin, what are you going to guess?
No, because every time this happens, I get it wrong, and I won't.
I promise. I won't deduct points this time. I promise.
I mean, I actually thought it's a dollar, but
okay,
we'll go different with 20.
Okay, 20. Okay, I'm just going to say like a greenback or something like that. I don't know.
What is that?
That's what. A long time ago, our U.S. dollars used to have different colors on the backside.
Yeah,
and green, and I think there's also gold back, so it was backed by gold currency. Yeah, it's silverbacks and all that stuff. Anyways, let's see. Canadian bill is what Canadian bill is green? A $20 bill. Right.
Wow.
Hey, I said I wasn't going to deduct, but I'm also not going to add.
Yeah, I figured that.
Oh, wow.
All right, so sorry, Patty, I have to deduct, but Justin, you're still at 200. So right now we have a tie game. All right, so Justin, no pressure whatsoever.
Not at all.
But this is for the win. This is gonna be your first win.
Irish symbols for 500.
Go big, go home.
Exactly.
Irish symbols. This is, by the way, this is probably gonna be the hardest category that you just.
It's okay. It's worth it.
This is rigged. Rigged.
This is great, Justin.
This is where a pot of gold is hidden.
At the end of the rainbow.
The correct answer is at the end of the rainbow.
Justin, I am so proud of you.
I'm sorry.
I'm so frustrated.
Yeah, this was a great question.
That's not 500 points.
Not at all. But you know what? Thank you, Lucky Charms, as a kid.
Exactly. It is Justin's day. I love it.
Justin's day.
Oh, no, it's all your day. This has been great.
This has been great. All right. So to wrap it up, we have Patty with -200 and Justin with his first win ever on ACUMA's On Point podcast with a total points of 300. Congratulations, Justin. You are the winner. You don't get anything, but you are still the winner.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Okay. Well, Patty, that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your willingness to share such amazing information with our listeners. It was truly a pleasure.
I had an absolute blast. And to see that I was a part of Justin's first win on Jeopardy just warms my heart, literally.
Yep.
I mean, she said it in the beginning, caring is sharing, right?
That's right. So from this point forward, I'm going to look at every single question on our Jeopardies to make sure that they're really tough, because we can't let this happen again. We can't let this happen. All right. Well, Justin, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. You're very welcome. And to everyone else, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to listen to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Be on the lookout for more news coming out of ACUMA, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time at the ACUMA On Point podcast. If not already, be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. For more great episodes and information, be sure to visit us online at acuma.org. And to get the latest updates, head over to our LinkedIn page.